Hey everybody. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. It's Saturday, it's July 27th. Here in New York, the weather is absolutely wonderful. It's a beautiful day in the city. I was out running a bunch of errands this morning, and so now it's the evening. It's about almost 7 o'clock, and I'm at work shooting this video. I came to the office today mainly because it's quiet here, and also because that was a big challenge for me with shooting these videos, is finding a quiet spot. So that's why I haven't made a video in quite a while. The other reason is because I feel like I covered a lot of the topics needed in order for teens and young adults to plan their exit from the cult, right? I feel like I covered mostly everything. So that was another reason why I stopped making as many videos as before. But if there is a subject you feel that I should cover, please, by all means, list it below, and I will get to it. So, yeah, that was reason I haven't been making so many videos. And again, like I said, finding a quiet spot was a big challenge. So I hope you guys are having a great summer. A lot of you are out of school. Hopefully you were able to find either some type of job, working at McDonald's or dog walking or babysitting or something. But hopefully you're earning money over the summer and you're saving it. That is so very important, to learn to save money. All right, so hopefully you're doing that. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that I know a lot of you are getting dragged to conventions over the summer. I am so thankful I don't have to go to another convention. But I, I will say this. Since this is my channel, I'm free to say my opinion, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. But if you want to engage in activism while being dragged to these conventions, please do so, if you can do so safely. So whatever you feel comfortable doing. Whatever you feel comfortable doing at these conventions as a way of speaking out against the cult, it is your complete right to do so. Your parents are forcing you to be there. They are not forcing you to believe what is said from the platform. So if you choose to take a small piece of paper, you write jwfacts.com on it and drop it into the contribution box. There is no one to if there's no one to stop you from doing that. If your parents can, by all means, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. And I'm going to tell you something. XJW activism is so empowering. Speaking out against that cult is so empowering. When I grew up in the cult, we didn't have the internet. It was the 1970s. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have all of these things that you guys have now. So basically, we were just stuck, right? We felt it was the truth. We were just stuck. jwfacts.com and so many other websites are now shedding light on this cult, that we can speak out against it. And so that other kids that are stuck growing up in it, we can give them a website address that they can look at in the privacy of their homes later on. And then now they have valuable information to work with. And so that's why activism is so very important. And so for the teens and the youth, I've been trying to encourage you guys to focus primarily on your exit strategy. And the reason why is because I don't want you to do anything that's going to take away the measure of freedom that you have. So that's why I don't want you to try to convince your parents to leave and try to get your families out and blah, blah, blah. The measure of freedom you have, I need you to keep it or increase it. And so I want you to leave the activism and the protesting and all of that and trying to get your families out. I want you to leave it to the people who are already out, who is us. It's me. And that's what I've been doing over the summer. I've been doing protests outside of the conventions. And hopefully your parents are seeing this and listening to some of us, seeing our signs, and hopefully they're having second thoughts about this cult. And that's why I don't want you to do it. I want you to leave it to us. And again, one thing I will say about XJW activism and speaking out against the cult, whether or not they listen to us or not, is very empowering for us. It's speaking our truth. It's telling people our stories. It's letting others know that this cult is a fraudulent, and dangerous organization. And so, if nothing else is derived from our activism and protesting, just letting the world know that Jehovah's Witnesses is a cult and a scam is it's very important. It's very, again, it's empowering to us, to speak it out. And hopefully, the attendees at those conventions are paying attention to us. They're researching on their own when they're in the privacy of their homes. Again, I won't be silenced on this. I'm going to speak out against that cult in whichever way I can. All right. So, having said that, I'm going to get to the topic of this video. And the topic of this video is a heavy one. I'm going to warn you in advance. It is a serious topic, and that is the subject of suicide. The suicide rate in the XJW community is rising. It is rising at an alarming pace, and I wanted to discuss it. As a teenager, a young adult, when you're faced with problems, they seem huge. And when you're a cult member, those problems seem 10 times bigger than they already are. Okay, so the cult makes it even worse. Everything that teens want to do, Jehovah's Witnesses, for whatever their reasons, will not allow them to do. It's some scripture that says they can't do it. There's a song, there's a Watchtower magazine. For whatever reason, the answer will always be no. So whether they want to go to college, no, that's wrong. They have sports abilities that they want to join a professional sports team, no, that's wrong. They have musical talents, whether it's singing or playing on musical instruments. They want to join the Philharmonica. Guess what? No, that's wrong. So no matter what it is they want to do, the answer is always going to be no. And as a teen or a young adult, that it gets stifling. You feel suffocated. You feel stripped of anything that makes you unique. You feel stripped of it because you're not allowed to engage in it. And so for a lot of teens, they feel, overwhelmed and saddened, depressed, bleak. They know if they leave the cult, their families are going to cut them off. So a lot of teens do feel depressed and suicidal while being in the cult. And so this video is to address those feelings. I don't want you to feel that in some way you're weak or abnormal or, there's something some mental issue or whatever. No, you're overwhelmed. You're in a cult. You got a crap deal like all of us did. You're in a cult. You're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel sad. You're going to wish to be making your own decisions and living life on your own. And right now you aren't. And that it gets frustrating. And I just want you to know that you are not in some way crazy or weak or anything like that. You're absolutely right for feeling that way. But how can we work through that? Is suicide the answer? And that's what I want to talk to you today about. What are some signs of suicide? Well, one of the main signs of suicide is people usually talk about it. When they're feeling suicidal, they talk about those feelings. They say it. They say comments like, well, I would be better off dead. Or they'll say something like, man, I could just put an end to all of this right now. I kill myself, all of this would just be over. So people, sometimes they make comments that show that they're prone to, or that the idea of suicide, they're flirting with it, that they're thinking about it, they're dwelling on it. So that's one sign of suicide. They're talking about it. Sometimes they're actually figuring out, if I was going to kill myself, how could I go about it? How would I physically do it? And so they're making plans. They're figuring out what it is needs to be done so that they would be able to facilitate taking their own lives. Sometimes they express hopelessness about the future. They feel that they're going to always be stuck in the cult. They're going to feel like if they leave the cult, they're going to be destroyed at Armageddon. So they feel that the future is bleak. Some of them are in another sign of suicide is being in emotional pain or distress. I can give you an example of that, especially as a teen or young adult. You may be attracted to someone and that person doesn't feel the same way about you. And so that makes you, it hurts, right? It hurts. The rejection of that relationship hurts. And then you're stuck in a cult and you're surrounded by all of these people and I mean, so it makes it that much worse, right? Then you feel like, so what? I'm just going to be stuck with all of these cult members and nobody loves me and I'm going to be alone and I'm sad and you know what I mean? So it spirals, it snowballs. And then the next thing you know, you're feeling like, well, maybe if I just ended my life now, I'd be better off. And so, again, there are so many signs, behavioral changes, such as withdrawing from friends and families, from your family members. You either sleep more than normal or you sleep less than normal. You're feeling angry and hostile, or agitated, and also or just being irritable, right? And so those are all signs of suicide. Um, there are more signs for adults, feeling that you're a burden to others. They may increase the use of alcohol or drugs. Sense of feeling trapped, and that's how a lot of cult members feel. You feel like you're just stuck, like you'll never make it out of there. And so, yeah, a lot of teens. So a lot of teens, young adults, you know, they feel that suicide is the answer. Again, they feel overwhelmed by cult life. They feel like they're never going to make it out of there. Their families are going to hold them back, you know, keep them there, and they'll never make it out. And so that's why I make these videos, and that's why I want to discuss this subject. So what can help you if you're a Jehovah's Witness teen, and you're feeling suicidal, you're having thoughts of suicide? What can you do? Okay. So one of the first things I want to encourage you to do is to talk and to talk about it, to reach out to someone who, preferably not a Jehovah's Witness, someone who's already out, and talk about it. And so many of us there in the XJW community are there, and we're here to help you, and we want to be of assistance to you in any way we can. So absolutely reach out to us. You know, let us know. Listen, I'm feeling like crap right now. I mean, whatever it is that's bothering you, let us know, and hopefully we can help you through it. So that's the biggest thing that you can do. Reach out and talk to someone, especially those of us who have gone through the same thing. I was raised in that cult from age 6, and I stayed there till age 28. So, you know, a lot of us know what it's like to be a teenager growing up in the cult and being told you can't, right? So you have to go out and field service, blah, blah. We all been there. We have all been there. So please feel free to reach out to us. Another thing that can help you in with thoughts of suicide, and this is hard. This is hard for adults. It's hard for teens. It's hard to do this. But when we have a problem, right, we take that problem and it may be this big, but we make it this big. And we feel that it cannot be solved. There's no, it's just too big. It's too huge. It cannot be fixed, nothing. So one of the biggest challenges we have as human beings is to take our problems, no matter how big or small they seem, and say, I'm not going to let this thing drag me down. I'm not going to let it pull me under. I'm not going to let it overwhelm me. I'm just going to keep battling one day at a time, every day, and just keep at it. And that's what the challenge is in fighting off suicidal thoughts. Is that usually we're feeling sad or depressed about something, and it's huge. Cult life, it's huge. I'm not going to lie. It's overwhelming. It's huge. But the thing is that for right now you're a cult member, but you don't always have to be one. You don't always have to be one. And so what you need to always keep in mind is you want to keep in mind that, okay, I'm a cult member right now. I'm 14 years old. I'm 15 years old. But someday I'm going to be 18, and I don't have to be a cult member at that point forward, from that point forward. And so that's what I need you to keep in mind, that although the problem is you're stuck in the cult right now, you're stuck with your parents right now, they're they're dragging you to the convention, they're dragging you to the meetings, you don't have the control of your life that you wish to have. I need you to keep in mind that is a temporary situation. Eventually, you will reach 18 years of age and you can make your own life choices. The key is you need to prepare yourself for that time now. And that's why, rather than dwelling on suicidal ideation, I want you to concentrate on your exit strategy. I want you to concentrate on expanding your social circle to include non-JW people. Even if you can't do that in life, real life, interacting with non-JW people, people because your parents say, listen, no worldly association, try to do it online. My nephew loves online gaming, so there's some kid that, my nephew lives in North Carolina. There's some kid in Texas. To hear them talk, you would think they're just next door neighbors, but that's the kind of friendship that they built up from online gaming. So that's what I want to encourage you guys to do, is even if you have to do it via online interacting with others, try to build online relationships. Build non-JW relationships with others and maintain those relationships and friendships. So that's a big part of it, right there. You want to expand your social circle. We just talked about a little while ago. If you're working this summer, whether it be at McDonald's or dog walking, whatever it is, save money, save it. You want to make sure that if you're using social media, you're being careful, that you're not friending JWs or you're using a separate account, with your social media. You want to be careful that you're making plans for the future. You want to make plans, whether it's going to college, whether going to trade school, whatever it is, you want to be making plans. You don't want to just drift through life. After you leave the cult, you want to hit the ground running. And so the cult is counting on you to fail. The cult is counting on you to feel overwhelmed if you leave and go back. And so that's the last thing we want you to do. And so if you have a plan in mind, and if you're working towards that, and if you keep your eyes focused on that, then the cult will lose. You won't want to be a member of the cult. And you'll be successful after you've left the cult. So again, I can't stress it enough. Being a member of a cult is just it's taxing. It's a heavy burden to carry. And so if you're struggling with feelings of suicide, again, it's important that you reach out to us, to the XJW community. It's important that you focus on making an exit strategy. If the cult is the biggest problem in your life, then that exit strategy is your one lifeline out of the cult, and that's what you should be working on. So many of us are waiting for you to come on out, and so we're waiting for you here on the other side of this thing. And so definitely, if the cult is what's making you feel suicidal, if you feel like your parents are just, unbearable, you're exiting out of there from their home, getting out is very important. And so that's why I can't stress it enough. Please, don't give up on life. It's just a temporary situation. And so don't give up on life. Don't feel like you're not going to ever make it out. You will, and we're here to help. You just have to reach out to us. All right? And so I'm going to provide some information in the section below, right? Suicide Prevention Hotline. When you call that hotline, you can talk to those counselors for as long as you need to about whatever's troubling you, about whatever's bothering you. And it's not a scripted phone call, so they'll talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. And so that's another resource for you, the XJW community, but also the crisis hotline. You can talk to them as well. The other thing is, if you are a person who knows of someone who is contemplating suicide, again, this information is for you as well. The Suicide Prevention Hotline gives you information as to how you can help them, things you can do um, to help that person who's considering suicide. So I'm hoping that with this video, you see that suicide is not an answer to leaving this cult. Yes, you're going to have problems in life. We all do. Whether it be unemployment, whether it be health, whether it be a breakup, whether it be, finding that right person for us. Um, we're all going to have disappointments in life. We're going to have setbacks, hurdles, obstacles, challenges. We are always going to be faced with those things. The key is not to give up. The key is not to give up. Suicide is a permanent solution to a problem that may be temporary. And when we take a permanent solution like suicide, and say, well, because I'm having this temporary problem, you see how that's disproportionate. And so that's why I don't want, if you're contemplating suicide, please don't do it. There are problems that are permanent problems. There may be a health issue that we're having that we will permanently have this health issue forever for the rest of our lives, right? So there are some problems that are permanent, but being a member of the cult is not a permanent process. It does not have to be. And so let us help you in exiting the cult. If that's where your suicidal ideology is coming from or is based on, we need you to just hang in there long enough until we can get you safely out of there. And that's again, you're 18, you're a legal adult at that point, you're free to leave. And that's what all of these videos are about, is to get you to the point of where you can exit the cult safely. We just need you to hang on long enough to do that. And that's primarily why I make these videos. With the exit strategy that especially with these videos and others in the online community, the point is to get you so that you are not dependent upon a Jehovah's Witness for anything, whether it be housing, transportation, employment, whatever it is. You want to set up your exit strategy so that you are not dependent upon a Jehovah's Witness. And the reason for that is because if you rely on a Jehovah's Witness, they will attach however much assistance they are willing to give you based on what you are doing spiritually or what you are doing as a Jehovah's Witness. So I want you to focus on getting out of the cult. And again, we're here. We're out here. We're ready to help you and support you do that. And so, please, if you're considering suicide, reach out to any of us, anytime. It's important. We want you to be happy. The other thing that comes up a lot with people leaving the cult is they feel that they have a sense of hopelessness, that they won't have a purpose in life, like life won't have meaning. They feel like they don't belong anywhere. All of those things are issues and situations that a lot of us dealt with. And we can help you through it if you allow us to, if you let us help you. So definitely reach out to us. We're there. Again, I'm on Facebook. I'm in the Reddit community. Reach out to us anytime and let us know what it is you need, what you're struggling with, and perhaps we can help you work through it. But I don't want you to feel that suicide is the solution, because it isn't. And I'm going to tell you, as a person whose friend, as I mentioned, I know of 2 people who I grew up with that committed suicide, and the only thing that runs through our minds is, boy, I wish they had said something to me. I wish they had talked to me about it. I wish I had known that they were feeling that awful, blah, blah, blah. Those are the kind of feelings that we're stuck with. And so, I'd rather you reach out to us and as much as it takes, whatever it takes, as many times as you need to, reach out to us and let us know you need help rather than to take such a step as committing suicide. Because then that means the cult steals your life from you. And, if you're thinking, well, I'll be resurrected, I hate to tell you this all, but no one has any proof that those beliefs that Jehovah's Witnesses have taught us all those years are even true. There's no proof of anybody being resurrected. There's no proof of that. So to say, well, I'll just get resurrected and I'll let Jehovah decide. No, no. So please don't base, carrying out a suicide on those beliefs from the cult, because again, that cult there's no evidence of anyone being resurrected before. So please don't buy into this thing where, your life doesn't have any meaning and your life doesn't, it's too hard, and so you'll just end it now and let Jehovah do blah, 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 blah. The cult teaches us all this stuff, and we buy into it. And what I need you to do is just start from a blank slate, and you're going to face life as it is, and you're not going to worry about what the cult has taught you or anything. But you're strong enough to do it. You're strong enough, and you can come to us. You have resources where if you feel like, wow, this is overwhelming, I need help, you can reach out to us. The XJW community is here. There are so many other cult survivors that are out here, and we're all welcoming of you, and we're wanting you to make it out of the cult safely and join us. And so that's the purpose of this video today, so that you don't feel that you're alone, or this is just this membership in the cult is just going to be forever and ever, and you're just stuck, and your parents are going to not going to talk to you or won't accept you, blah, blah, blah. There's so many of us here waiting for you to make it out safely, and that's what I'm hoping you will do. So please leave your comments below. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great summer, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.